Hi, I'm Mark Neal from Neal Family Vineyards. I established this property in 1990 and built the winery in 1998. I'm producing some great wines from the properties that I own in Rutherford as well as up here in Howell Mountain. We also had some other vineyards that we were farming other parts of the county, and we'll talk about those a little bit. One thing I want to talk about is my definition of isolation and quarantine. What I'm going to present to you today is some wines that have been in quarantine since 2002. We're bringing these out as a special introduction to you guys. They're drinking fabulous. Of course, they're all state-grown vineyards. They're 100% Cabernet, and I like to start off with the Wyckoff Vineyard because that's the most fond memory when I planted that vineyard with my dad in 1968 in Rutherford. Between Robert Mondavi Winery and Ingle Nook Winery, if you know Napa Valley very well. We started making wine there in 2002, going forward through 2006. Before that, the vineyard was, we contracted with Georgia Tour at the BV Winery in Rutherford. Our next vineyard we want to talk about is our Rutherford Dust Vineyard. We have a very few selective magnums of that. You can check it out on our online forum. It's a component of about 22 different clones of Cabernet Sauvignon that I've collected in my lifetime that I planted there in Rutherford. That was the first vineyard I bought when I was 20 years old. And even though it's a stone throw away from the Wyckoff Vineyard, the two wines are totally different. The next wine, One Lane Bridge. Now we're gonna get a little creative on some names here. So the One Lane Bridge is actually got named after the bridge right before the vineyard. Down in Mount Veeder. It's about 500-foot elevation, just about out of the fog line in most times during the summertime. It's going to have a little more mountain component than our Rutherford vineyards, due to the fact that it's going to be a little more structure, a little more tannins, more dark fruit. From there, we go to Second Chance, which is another vineyard up in Atlas Peak. My dad and I looked at that vineyard in 1983 together. Actually, it wasn't a vineyard; it was a rock patch. It looked like moon. And there was a reservoir sitting up there, and my dad goes, "What are we going to do with this?" I go, "I'm going to plant a vineyard there." So Second Chance came from the first time that we tried to develop that vineyard. It didn't quite work, and that was just doing the ground prep because there's so much rock up there, it just broke all our equipment in pieces. So I was pretty young in 1983, and I always thought more was better. I brought in some dynamite, and we took care of that real quick up there. So that's the Second Chance Vineyard. It's Atlas Peak AVA. Again, check out the vintages that we have available. Another vineyard that we're going to show you that's on our order form is called the 1540. That vineyard is located, well, it was very simple. That name was 1540 Howell Mountain Road. I bought that vineyard back in 1998. It's produced really nice wines. It's a lot of structure, a lot of tannins, a great mountain site. It's about 1,400-foot elevation. Look at them. This property here, this is the cave up at the Howell Mountain Estate. When I bought this property in 1990. The Howell Mountain Estate is at about 1,750-foot elevation. We got a few gems of those available for you as well. On the other side of the hill, from the 1540 at the same elevation, is called the Chafin Vineyard. It's west-facing, sloped. Again, it's going to be a different contrast of the 1540 as well as the Howell Mountain. So if you want to try all 6 vineyards in one bottle, it's going to be our Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon. It's from all our vineyards, from Mount Veeder, the One Lane Bridge, from our Second Chance Vineyard in Atlas Peak, our 1540 off of Howell Mountain Road, the Chafin Vineyard off of Howell Mountain facing the west side, our Howell Mountain Estate where the winery is located, as well as our Rutherford Dust Vineyards in Rutherford. For the last 20 years, I want to say thank you, reach out to you all and say thank you very much for supporting my winery, my family, what we do. We believe in what we do. I'm a farmer. I've been doing that all my life up here in Napa Valley. Started making wine with my dad when I was 14 years old. And really believe in the system of farming organically and making an organic wine as well. And stay healthy through these times. Stay well, your family, your friends, and all. Hopefully we get all through this here shortly so we can get back to our lives. Thank you. Cody, sit. 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 Yeah. Now sit down. Just like my winemakers. A few of us have it pretty rough. My kids kicked me out of my house for my quarantine, and this happens to be my place right here. I don't have electricity all hooked up yet.